Everyone, I'm up in Big Bear for a few days, up staying at our mountain house, and I thought I would try something different today and try to video outside. So I came to this gorgeous park. So we have a nice view here and some big trees, clean air, some bird song. We are unfortunately right next to the major road, so I'm hoping that nothing disturbs us. But today I wanted to talk about hope, shame, and despair. And that's kind of something that I've been working on in my life now. And I'm going to be taking a little bit different angle with my blog and my video blog. Before I was sharing my story of my disease, and now I would like to focus on things that I'm dealing with right now, and how I'm dealing with them or processing them, because I feel like that might be more helpful. And of course, there will be endometriosis in that also, because that's a big part of my life, unfortunately, right now. I had a very disturbing doctor's appointment this week that did not go the way that I wanted, and I'm not really ready to talk about it yet because it's still kind of raw. But that's why this shame and hope and despair is prevalent in my life right now, and I hope that what we talk about today will help you or give you a slightly different perspective, because that's what the information that I'm going to give you did to me. So we'll just get started. For once, I made a little outline, and I also have some crystals here with me. These are my new favorite crystals. This one is called Chevron Amethyst, and I think it's just gorgeous. And then this one is Emerald, and I love this one too, and they fit perfectly in my hands. And yes, I have mittens and a scarf because it's like 32 degrees out, and I'm from Southern California, so I'm cold. But having all this warmth gives me hot flashes, so I might be removing layers as we go. So I'm going to start by sharing two quotes that I think kind of open up the topic of hope really well, because they represent different sides of hope. They're from this book, Lessons for the Living by Stan Goldberg. I recommended this book in an earlier vlog. There's a truck coming. So I hope that's not too loud. In this book, he volunteers at a hospice, and he shares different stories from patients that he met along the way. And it's really an inspirational book. I've read it more times than I can count, and I've bought dozens of copies of them and give them to people in my life because I just think it's that amazing. So I chose two quotes from his book. These are some of the epigraphs from his book. The first one is by Martin Luther King Jr. If you lose hope, somehow you lose the vitality that keeps life moving. You lose the courage to be, that quality that helps you go on in spite of it all. So that's by Martin Luther King Jr. And then this quote, I'm not even sure how to say his last name, Friedrich Nietzsche. Hope is the worst of all evils, for it prolongs the torments of man. So those two quotes are kind of on completely different sides of the view of hope. Hope being a positive trait, and hope being something that harms you or can be painful. And before a conversation that I had this week with my counselor, I was on the side of Nietzsche, and I didn't want to have hope anymore, because so many times with the disease that I have, I would get my hopes up, and then that pill wouldn't work, or that surgery wouldn't work, or that doctor would be a jerk, or whatever. And it was just so taxing to keep having all this hope and keep having it just dropped. And then it's, more devastating than just not feeling well. It adds a whole nother emotional component to the disease, which is not something that you need when you're already dealing with so many uncomfortable symptoms. So I like those two quotes for just kind of a kickoff. And I have several books here today. Another book that I'm big on right now is Rising Strong by Brene Brown. And in my last video blog, I noticed I said Gabrielle Bernstein, but this isn't Gabrielle Bernstein's book. This is Brene Brown's book. So this quote right here, I had it read to me by my counselor this week, and it really opened my eyes and changed how I viewed hope. Okay, so this is on page 202 in Rising Strong. Pervasive hopes of power. Pervasive hopes. No. Pervasive feelings of powerlessness eventually lead to despair. My favorite definition of despair comes from the author and pastor Rob Bell. Despair is a spiritual condition. It's the belief that tomorrow will be just like today. My heart stopped when I first heard him say that. Man, I know what it feels like to be under that rock and to believe with all of my heart that there's no way out and that I'll be in the same exact spot tomorrow. For me, that feeling is absolutely a spiritual crisis. I've found that moving out of powerlessness and even despair requires hope. Hope is not an emotion, it's a cognitive process. A thought process made up of what researcher C.R. Snyder calls the trilogy of goals, pathways, and agency. Hope is a function of struggle. Even reading that now after I've read it dozens of times, it still just strikes such a chord in me. Despair is a spiritual condition. It's the belief that tomorrow will be just like today. And that was one of the biggest problems. Well, it still kind of is. I'm still in process with this. But when you have a chronic illness or chronic pain or depression or something that is ongoing, it's hard to not lose hope or to find yourself. It's hard not to be in despair because what are the odds that tomorrow I am going to feel better? I don't know. But what I've learned and what I'm kind of working on now is because you have no control over a chronic illness. And when I had this doctor's appointment, after my appointment, I felt really worthless. I'm not working right now. I can't. I just feel like I'm not contributing to the world. I just feel like a bump on a log, a burden. I feel like a burden to a lot of people in my life, and that's not, I don't want to feel that way. And I wasn't sure before this dialogue that I'm going to talk about that was possible to change how I felt about that, because I can't change the situation. However, I have an amazing therapist, and this is my owl journal, and she's taught me this mantra: what else? So, what else is true? For example, right now, my pain level is like an 8. That's why I'm chewing gum. I wouldn't normally chew gum, but it helps to like stomp out. It's a little bit of a distraction. I'm in a lot of pain. I barely slept last night. But what else is true? I'm up in the mountains in one of my very favorite places. I mean, look at where we are. This is beautiful, right? This is my happy place. The air feels good. The trees are beautiful. Sometimes I see animals here, wild animals, coyote, deer, something. I love it here. I have a lot of friends up here, so I get to see them while I'm here. And I'm just really excited. So if I focus on the things that are also true, that doesn't mean that the pain is any less necessarily, but if you change your focus, what you look at gets more intense, right? So that's kind of a practice that I'm working on right now, and I'm not perfect at it, and sometimes I completely forget about it and get swept up in the pain and the emotions that I attach to my pain, like worthlessness, shame, embarrassment, sadness, hopelessness. But I'm working on choosing hope. We can choose hope. Hope doesn't just happen. You have to work for hope. And so that's what I'm working on, and I feel like the what else mantra is kind of major for working towards hope. And I hope that kind of gives a little perspective shift maybe to anybody else out there suffering with any similar afflictions. It really, this week has kind of changed my life, and possibly in a bad way also, but definitely in a good way. Like, I'm not working right now, and so I'm working on starting my own business, and that's exciting. Because I was crying in my counselor's office after my doctor's appointment, and then she was asking about my business, and instantly I couldn't help but smile and get excited. So I went in crying and feeling really a lot of shame because I blame myself for complicated reasons for my disease. So I feel a lot of shame when I know that it hasn't gotten better, and that's heavy. And so I walked into her office on Wednesday feeling really badly about myself and more depressed than I've been in a long time. But I left excited, and I've got a list on my computer, and now I'm really actively working on developing my business, and I couldn't be more excited about that. And so I feel like that was what I needed. And I just wanted to share these concepts of hope with you, and hope that I hope that they can help some of you to maybe change your idea of hope, maybe to find hope, to make hope. So I have some more quotes from Brene Brown's book. The middle is messy, but it's also where the magic happens. I love that one. The irony is that we attempt to disown our difficult stories to appear more whole or more acceptable, but our wholeness, even more our wholeheartedness, actually depends on the integration of all of our experiences, including the falls. Wow, right? So I also have some affirmations that I'd like to share, just a few that I've been using lately. So one is definitely, what else is true? And then, today I relax my mind and my body. I am centered and balanced. I declare peace and harmony within me. I am all that I am looking for. All is well. So I'll read those again. Today I relax my mind and body. I am centered and balanced. I declare peace and harmony within me. I am all that I am looking for. All is well. And then I wanted to end with a meditation from Louise Hay. And I want to read the meditation on meditation, because I've talked about meditation a lot in my blogs and video blogs, and I thought maybe if people aren't familiar with it, that this might be helpful. So this comes from Louise Hay, Meditations to Heal Your Life book. Okay. The affirmation is, I cherish my meditation times. At least once a day, I sit quietly, breathe deeply, and go within to connect with that deep, inner, unchanging part of myself. Here resides wisdom and knowledge. Meditating is a joy for me as I connect with my inner place of tranquility. Just sitting quietly with my eyes closed is a way to be deeply relaxed. After a little while, I come back to the present moment, refreshed and renewed, and ready for the rest of the day. I feel at peace and know that all is well. The serenity and safety I seek is already within me. So her book is really pretty. It's nice fonts and it's colored. There's a lot of pretty images in here. I highly recommend this book. And then she has another book, I don't have it with me, but it's called You Can Heal Your Life, and that one's really good also. So I just want to end with a breath. So if you want to put your hands on your chest, take a deep inhale and exhale out. So I hope what I shared today will help you, and I look forward to doing another vlog. I'm probably going to be doing one maybe tomorrow or Sunday. So we'll do one last little pan of nature here. Okay, so I hope, my endo sisters, you're not having too much pain. And anyone else, I hope you're doing really well. And I just want to say thank you. I love you.